Good morning, everybody. Yeah, I'm definitely watching MTSL. We'll see what happens with it. I don't think it's actually tradable, which is kind of a bummer, but definitely gonna keep an eye on it regardless. Also watching ETSY Etsy. Etsy looks pretty decent here. NIO, CRON, CGC, HUYA. Go posted the watch list a little bit earlier. We have a few decent options. What's up, Jeremy? John O. James. Trading. Netron. Kid. Foil. What's up, James? Good morning, man. Neat had a pretty strong push yesterday. Let's see if it's still tradable. I know they added that one to Tefs. Let me see. No, it's not. But the market's really not looking that bad. Sorry, I'm running a little slow today, honestly. But yeah, the market's really not looking that bad. We have Etsy here, MTSL, NIO. Washed out all day yesterday. So we'll see what happens with it this morning. CRON. Gapping up about 40 cents. We have HUYA gapping up after giving some of that back yesterday. It's up to 2025. We have VCell from yesterday. Gonna look for a second day washout on this one. See what happens with it. Also looking at NWL. Gapping up some in pre-market here from 1995 to 2084. Gonna watch this one as well, see if we get a fade at the open. SRCR. Gapping up as well. One I'm pretty bummed out I can't trade is GNC. You can see GNC's gapping up nicely here. It used to be tradable. I'm not sure why they removed this one. It generally has good volume for the most part during the day. I'm not sure why they removed this one. And then XOG. Looks interesting here as well. This one is tradable. Just broke under the whole $1.10. We'll watch it, see what happens there. We have some down gappers too. We have YECO gapping down to $5, just about $5. MDXG gapping down as well. Both of those are tradable, so going to keep an eye on these, see what happens with them. DNR moving some. INFN gapping down. ZG gapping down. FTR gapping down. BOXL gapping down some after a big crazy move yesterday. I don't think it's tradable unless they did add it. I really doubt they added it, but we can see here. No, they didn't. Office Depot here. I didn't realize Office Depot had such a cheap stock. CSLT maybe getting some volume. But yeah, it looks like Etsy came out with earnings, is what that really looks like. Nah, man. I just woke up a little early, man. I just woke up a little late today, really. Yeah, but Plug gave most of it back already, which is odd. But yeah, if the market looks good enough, I may, like I said, I didn't trade yesterday because I didn't see anything I really liked. The market looks good enough today. I see a few decent movers. I may take a little bit larger sizing. We'll see. Gonna watch AMD. Been watching this one the last few days. It's been moving, so maybe keep an eye on this one. But we have some options that are tradable. RENN, although I don't think this one's tradable. It used to be. No, it's not. But we have NWL. Looks good too. I'll probably watch this one. Gapping up some. Yeah, YECO's down. We actually have a few that are down a decent amount here. What's up, two-way? Yeah, no stress, man. Yeah, we'll see if YECO can rebound some here. What's up, Marcus? Long time no see, brother. But yeah, two I'm really watching. I'm watching MTSL, although I can't tradable. Maybe watching on Robinhood. Watching XOG. I recently sold a put option. Made a little bit of money on MRNS. No, maybe it wasn't MRNS. What was it? I'll have to look it up. It was it was MRNS. So it was this one. I recently sold a put option here. What I did was I bought the put option way up here when it kind of went crazy and spiked, thinking it would come back down some, and it did. It dropped back down from 620s down to 530s. I was able to sell it for 20%, 30% more than I invested into it. So not a bad little put option trade for MRNS there. We'll see what else we can find. Sorry, I'm moving a little bit slow today, everybody. MTCH, Match.com, gapping down some as well in this market. But yeah, probably my main watches. I'm gonna keep an eye on some of these down gappers as well. But Etsy, gonna keep an eye on Etsy here. Big range. Got to be careful with it. Maybe take smaller sizing just because the range is so big. It's got about a $5 or about a $6 range in pre-market. NIO, NWL, XOG. See if we can get some gap fills with some of these. CRON maybe. HUYA. DXR, yeah, I don't think DXR is tradable. I can look. Oh, it is tradable. Okay. Yeah, I could watch DXR. Want to see a little bit more volume come in with this one, though. SRCI maybe as well. A few gap ups with no follow through volume. That's the only thing that's a little bit concerning. Is we have some gap ups, but not much follow through volume. ARRS is tradable as well. And so we'll see what happens with some of these. BCEI gapping up. I'm kind of bummed out about GNC and MTSL. MTSL used to be tradable. They removed it. It has low volume though, but it used to be tradable. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Were you long or short in it, James? What's up, Wahid? Good morning, man. Yeah, I could see it getting up to 250 and testing that $0.50 as well. Yeah, I gotta drink my coffee and wake up a little bit, guys. PTI kind of gapping up some. We'll see if it's still tradable here. It is, so maybe PTI. It all depends. Needs some more volume. We got a lot of gaps today, but we really don't have that much volume. And so elections are over. I was hoping we had a little bit more volume, but we do have some gaps here, so we have a few options to trade. YECO. I'll have to look up the news on that one. I saw the big gap down. Yeah, it kind of goes back to we had a class on this a few days ago, which is parabolic movers. A lot of the time, this is what happens with them. You know, a lot of the time with parabolic movers, they'll kind of go crazy, and then a lot of shorters are going to jump in at the top, and they're going to come right back down to close to where they were previously. At this point, this one's at $5, so it's right here. If it breaks under this 4 something level, this 450 level, it could get interesting for YECO. Maybe fill the gap back down to ones. I think it's a little bit of a risky trade just because if it did get a NASDAQ letter like that, it could get delisted and people could just get stuck in this one. And so for that reason, I'm a little worried about it. Going to be careful about trading it unless it sets up beautifully. And for a scalp specifically, I'm not going to trade it just because it's a little bit too risky for me. What's up, Cool? Good morning, man. But we got a few options. I mean, NIO is still moving in pre-market. Cron's gapping up some. CGC, NWL gapping up some here. Looks interesting. Found some support at that 2050 level. We'll see what happens with it there. XOG looks interesting. Finding support at $10. We'll see if it holds there. Going to look to short it. Both of these if they set up. SRCI. Same thing around 850. We'll see what happens at that 850 level. VSell from yesterday is up a ton. Ended up running really nicely all the way up to almost 17. Broke over 17, but it's sitting at 1684 now. That one looks interesting. And so, yeah, we have a few options. GoGo as well. I forgot to mention this one. GoGo had a big day yesterday. Gonna look for it to fill some of this gap here. So I got a few options that look promising actually. That's rough. DSP 40K, man. That's tough, brother. Yeah, it's a little slow in here, man. I think the elections. I think people were up watching the elections last night, and so it's a little dull in here this morning. Maybe the market in general will be a little bit dull. Oh, you cashed out yesterday, DSP. Congrats, brother. Yeah, man. I thought you said I thought you took a $40 hit, man. So that's awesome, brother. Nice work, man. Nice work, dude. Yeah, I'm watching those as well, Danny. I mean, I'm watching NIO, not NIO. I'm watching CRON. I'm watching NIO, but for cannabis, I'm watching CRON, CGC. We'll see what we get with those. But yeah, kind of a slow day. No, I can't trade OTC, Danny. Most of the time, I mean, I have a few select stocks. Most of the time, the stocks I'm looking at to trade are in between like $5 and $20 is really kind of the sweet spot for me. 5 and 20. Um, that's about it. I mean, there's sometimes I look at stocks like I'm watching Etsy this morning. It's a $45 stock. The problem with it though is that the range is so big. You know, I mean, this thing's moving up and down in $1 increments. I would really have to take smaller sizing, obviously, since it's a more expensive stock. And I'm just not as comfortable doing that. I'd prefer to just look at stuff like GoGo, VCEL, NIO, CRON, and get in with a few hundred shares if the range is good enough for it. Yeah, I'll look up the news on some of those in a second. I mean, the elections are done. The Dems won the House, Republicans the Senate, and so we'll see what happens in the market. If you guys know me, I'm not much of a politics guy, man. I'm just not into politics. You know, some people are. That's great. I don't like any politician. I don't care what side they are. I just dislike. None of them ever do what they say they're going to do. And so getting super invested in either one is just not dumb. It's just unnecessary, in my opinion, just because none of them ever do what they say they're going to do. And they all lie. And so I just stay out of politics. I hate them all equally, if that makes sense. What's up, Track Racer? Long time no see, brother. I mean, I kind of do make it a rule, man. I don't ever touch on what people say about politics, man. Um, you never hear me mention any political figure or anything like that unless it's directly market related. And even still, it's just politics makes people too angry on both sides. I think people may get mad at me, but like I feel like if you get too invested in either side, I'm not gonna say you're gullible, but I feel like maybe you don't have as much to do in life. I just think none of them ever do what they say they're going to do. I hate the media on both sides. I hate the entire concept of team politics. I feel like everybody is a mix of both. And if you try to pretend like you're 100% in either direction on one side or the other, you're either not very intelligent or you're pretty gullible. You know what I mean? And that's just how I feel. I don't like politics in general. I think the team politics thing's ridiculous. Everybody just rooting for their team, ignoring everything else. I think it's just stupid, But hey, I mean, whatever people do, let them do it. It's their choice. Delisted stocks. I mean, I can't trade delisted stocks. Like the most recent one I can think of is IGCC. You can see IGCC got delisted from IGC, but I mean, I usually don't touch them. I can't touch them. I can't trade them, but I usually just stick away from them. I mean, I always get worried about a stock I'm in getting delisted, from the major exchange because usually it drops a significant amount. For short, I've never really tried that, man. Yeah, I wasn't gonna touch it. Hey man, why you have left 8K buying power? I mean, I've got about 80K buying power, man. A little bit under 80K. Nah, man, no stress, track racer. Yeah, man. I mean, any stock. Here's the thing, right? As a trader, you can trade your patterns, and that's great. You know, you can trade your patterns, you can trade your setups. One of the scariest things for a trader is really just buying a stock that gets delisted. I mean, because it's kind of tough to account for. You know, you can look for your patterns if your patterns are there, but it's a terrible company and it gets delisted. I mean, that can completely ruin your account. And so I try to stay away from those, if that makes sense. It's if the company's not healthy enough to where it actually gets delisted from the exchange, it's just kind of my cue to not trade it. You know what I mean? Maybe if it gets pumped up in the OTC market, I'd consider it. But, you know, what was the recent example? LFIN. I think it was LFIN, right? A few months ago, LFIN got delisted at, let's see, this thing got delisted at $30, right? People are buying this stock at $30. I know a few people in here got caught in this move, but it got delisted at, maybe it was $20. It was either 30 or 20. And then it resumed at like what? 5. So it literally lost, 75% of its value by getting delisted. And that's just a scary, scary thing for a trader, As a day trader, you're trying to take advantage of short moves in the market. But if you get caught in that, that thing got halted and resumed at 75% lower. You get caught in that can destroy your account. I just try to stay away from those. Yeah, MDXG and YECO both gapping down significantly. MDXG actually has a little bit better volume. That's crazy, track racer. That's crazy, man. Why was it delisted? Talking about LFIN. Let me look it up. I can look it up. Give me a second. Let me look it up when it got delisted. So this happened actually in April, it looks like. For violating securities law. Non-compliance violating securities law. It's probably getting sued too. It probably did get sued. And I mean, this is what you see a lot of the time, right? You see a stock go from like a crazy move like this. Like what really happened with this one is that this thing went from where it opened up around $5 all the way to 142. Actually, I don't know if that's where it even, maybe that is where it opened up. But this thing went from $5 to 142 in a day. Back down to 30s, back up to 70s in a few days. And then back from 70s back down to 13. And then a little bit of spike back up to 30. So, I mean, sketchy move. And when you see moves like this happen, that's the big risk, is that it's going to get delisted. You know, just a crazy, ridiculous move. I'm going to run to the restroom really quick, guys, so I'll be back. All right, I'm back. Yeah, 2 trading sessions, man. Crazy move right by LFIN. All right, so we can go over the news in a second. FOMX, Jason, what's up, man? Oh, look at FOMX, man. Appreciate mentioning that one to me. Did this one pop up on my scanners? I'm not seeing it on my scanners. Oh, there it is. Okay, it did pop up. SAEX. No. Please be tradable. I don't think it is. This is probably the best looking stock today. No, it's not. Man, frustrating. But there's still enough to trade, but aggravating for sure. Groupon up. So yeah, main watches today probably VCell, NIO, GoGo, Cron, NWL. What was the other one I was watching? XOG. NWL and XOG. Gonna look for those to fill some of these gaps heading back down. AMD had a big red or green day yesterday and gapping up in pre-market. Gonna look for it to fill some of these gaps as well. We'll see what happens. NGL doesn't look bad either. All right, so let me look up the news on some of these. First, what I'm gonna look up is I'm just gonna look up the gappers, even if I can't trade them. GNC gapping up some. It looks like they reached an agreement with Harbin Pharmaceuticals on $300 million in funding for GNC. So an agreement reached for $300 million in funding. Also looking at, what was it? FOMX. FOMX probably the decent looking stock in the market right now. A lot of volume there. It achieved positive top line results in the treating of, let me see if I can say this correctly. Are y'all ready? Let me try to say this correctly. Papulopustular rosacea. I think I was correct. I think I hit that spot on, man. That was on point, I think. But yeah, positive top line results is basically why FOMX is gapping up. Sounds like a bio stock. It obviously is a bio stock, so interesting there. We can look up Cron here, see why it's making this move. Michigan legalizing. So Cron is up. Michigan legalized. Man, when's Texas going to do that, man? I'm ready. It's time. Probably won't be for a few years. XOG. Another one I'm looking up. Not really anything I see for XOG. I mean, moving on. I don't really see anything for XOG. AARS. Sources told CNBC that CommScope is near a deal to acquire ARRS for $5.6 billion. So acquisition deal possibly in the works. NWL. So a Jocelyn sale where NWL received about $2.5 billion or $556 million. So a sale, it sounds like, for NWL. Just gonna kind of move quick. We got 2 minutes. Look up YECO, see what's going on with it, why it's gapping down some here. So they must file an appeal and pay a hearing to NASDAQ before November 12th, or they are going to get delisted. And so I guess that's good that if you're going to look to trade it, I mean, it still has time before the delisting specific date. And so we'll see what happens with it. But that's all I'm going to look up right now. Also, today's news is brought to you by SnapTrade. That's SNAPTRADE.US. I can pull this up here. Awesome free scanning website for traders to take advantage of. You can see I build my watch list here each morning. Shows you a lot of good data like market cap, volume change percentage, signal strength, technical signal, and stuff like that. They also have scanners with all these different sectors like finance, crypto, upcoming earnings. If you like to trade gap ups, they have a gap up option. And then they also have news, so I can click today's news and it shows me the big news stories, or just click watch list here and it shows me all the news stories on my watch list. And go check them out. That's snaptrade.us. Market's opening up in 5 seconds. I'll go ahead and post it in the chat. There's the bell. All right, big drop on NIO. Etsy pushing up some. Cron dropping. Big drop on NIO here. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I'm looking at YECO. I'm actually surprised it's rebounding here. I mean, very interesting to say the least. I think it'll most likely come back down, but looking at GoGo here, if GoGo bounces up to 45, I can set a decent risk level of this 54 level. Potential reward at 32, and so risk would be about 9 cents, reward would be about 15 cents. I actually like this drop a little bit better now, actually, believe it or not. It's a little bit bigger drop, giving me more reward in this one. And so I actually like that drop a little bit more now. Yeah, now people are starting to come in. It's weird. I think people were just a little slow today from the elections. V-Cell's right at the VWAP. It didn't drop enough for me to really want to consider this because of the chances of it pulling a washout long, breaking this high at 1637, go up a little bit, I think, with the high of day being so close there. And so we'll see what happens with that one. Also looking at Cron here for the same kind of moves. If Cron gets up to 48, I'll consider it for sure. Look at NIO here. Only problem is, where's my risk? Risk would have to be at 40, so about an 8 cent risk. Not bad reward, actually, so maybe if it gets up to 40, I'll consider it. Did that happen too quick for NIO? Alright, so I just jumped in with 200 shares on NIO here. Risk is at about 640. Like I said, I've been taking a little bit larger sizing in the market, and so, or I've been planning to take a little bit larger sizing, so I don't mind being down $8. It's a small amount relative to the size of my account at this point. And so I'm just going to hold it to my risk level of 640, and if it breaks that, that's okay too. All right, got down to 29s. Really pretty looking VWAP fade. We'll see if it actually follows through. There's 28s here. 26s. Not bad. First profit target is going to be maybe 620, maybe 615. There's 27s. There's 24s. See, we get a little bit of drop. Like I said, 620 I don't think is a bad risk level. Cron just spiking up there, just running up big. Look at YECO, crazy move. GLUU running. Let's hope we don't see a bear flag here for NIO, but I'm just going to let it follow through here, see if it works for me. There's 22s. Let's see if it gives me a little profit here. That's what I'm looking for. I want to see it get down to 620. $23s. Quick rebound here. Got to be careful. Want to see that level continue to hold, though. It's getting a little spready. Back down to 24s. It's got some resistance above it now, so I like it a little bit more. But like I said, I want to see it get down to 620 to take my first little profit there. And then I can really be a little bit more comfortable in it. It's got some resistances above it, though, so I like it a little bit more now. Not really too stressed out in it, but... At this point now, though, really, if it breaks this level here at 633, it's kind of an obvious risk level at this point. Did you mean to hide Track Racer, Mitch? You just hid Track Racer. Did you mean to do that? What's up, Ismail? Well, look at Kron coming all the way back down. There you go. Yeah, I was going to say, don't you pick on Track Racer? No, I have a mental stop. I mean, if it breaks this level up here, I'll probably jump out at 33s. Yeah, no stress, Mitch. But man, look at Go-Go crash. It just never really gave me an entry there. Just taking hard here. Yeah, a lot of green popping up on the time and sales. Kind of looking at go-go here, see if it pulls back. Oh yeah, my bad guys. Hold on, I gotta be careful with this right here. There's 30s. 31s. Don't want to get caught in a big breakout here. That's what I said. 33 is about my risk area now. Want to see it get rejected here, but I'll pull up the momentum scanner in a second. Sorry about that. Gonna let it test that previous high. And then hopefully come back down. This thing gapped down so much already, though. I just got to be careful with it. There we go. Was able to pull up the momentum scanner really quick. Would love to see a double top here, but it could also start turning into like what a cup and handle maybe. And so want to see a rejection. We'll see. Here's a little bit of one. Got pushed right back up. Definitely want to get out of it if it breaks this level. So I'll get it time, but it breaks that level, I'm out. Easy exit. The only thing I don't like about it is it's putting in a little bit higher lows. And so I just got to be careful with it. But man, look at Kron getting hit. That's shocking, man. I thought Kron would do well today. Yeah, it looks like it may be starting to squeeze up here. I don't want to get caught in a triangle, in a ascending triangle. And so, like I said, it breaks that 633 level. I just got to get my hand ready. I appreciate the sub, Fahad. Welcome, man. Appreciate it. Like I said, though, it looked good for a short at first on the pullback to the VWAP, but it kind of looks bullish now. If you see it, it's putting in higher lows, flat top at the top, and so ascending triangle. I got to kind of get my hand on the sell button here, especially right here. Kind of make or break level for this one. I think some long traders may jump in here, especially if it breaks. So, like I said, really got to pay attention here, and I'm out. All right, $14 loss, tiny loss. As soon as it broke that level, may have faked me out a little bit, but as soon as I saw it break that level, I jumped out, and it looks like it may have faked me out, but no stress. Too risky. You can see this ascending trend line here. Oh, it looks like it did fake me out. You see that ascending trend line, but no stress. Tiny loss relative to my account size. First loss of the week, and so it happened. Yeah, I'm mostly a short trader. At this point, I'm maybe looking at GoGo. If GoGo pulls back to 217, I might consider it. With a risk level of 224 here. But yeah, like I said, when NIO first pulled back to the VWAP, it looked okay. I could have scalped it, I guess, as it pulled back to the 621 level. I was going to take profits at 620, but gave it a little bit more time. Wanted to see it touch my level. At this point, I'm really looking at GoGo here. If GoGo gets up to 615s, I'll probably take it. All right, there's 14s. All right, so I'm in with 100 or 200 shares of GoGo here on this VWAP push. Like I said, risk level is 25. We'll see what it gives me here. Yeah, there's some puns to be used here, man, for sure. All right, I'm going to take my first profit here. Got out for a small gain there. Took back most of the loss on the day, and just going to let the rest work, see if it can break these lows. Maybe that last trade is coming into play, making me want to scalp this one a little bit more since I took profits quick. But it dropped quick for me. Dropped about 10 cents quick, so don't mind taking first profit there. Might have bounced at 706, 708 here, and so that's why I decided to. But gotta give it a little bit of time. This way, if it pulls back, I'm okay in the trade. Yeah, there's definitely some puns though for for GoGo here. Look at that V-cell. Had a nice little VWAP rejection once already. We'll see if it does it again. And yeah, there goes NIO. You can see this ascending triangle. That's what I say. When I first got in V-cell, it looked okay. It looked half decent. You know, I got in it here. The VWAP fade looked good. Once it started to form this upward trend line, it made me a little bit more hesitant in the trade. But yeah, at this point, risk 25, reward maybe 94. Looking at NWL, I mean, it's not really in a it's not really what I would say is it's in a bearish trend, but I don't know if I really like it for a VWAP fade. We'll see. All right, so I kind of scalped my first little half of this position. I'm just going to try to let the rest work. See how low it can get. Down to 705s. See if we get that $7 break is really what I want to see with GoGo. It's down to 704. $703s. So get that $7 break is what I really want to see with it. Get some shorts jumping in there, some long selling. Down to 702s. Let's get that whole dollar break here. $6.99. There we go. Beautiful. I can take a little bit off, see if it turns into a... Alright, I just took half off. I'm just going to let the rest work. It worked out really well so far. Maybe sold my first half a little bit too early if I could critique myself a little bit. But selling at the support, I'm just going to let the rest work, see if it turns into what we call an all-day fader, where it just continues to fade for the rest of the day. Took back my loss on the day, and so I'm happy with that. Like I said, biggest mistake I think I made with GoGo right here is that maybe sold my first partial a little bit too early. Maybe let that first loss from NIO get to me a little bit and made me sell 100 shares a little bit too soon. But at this point, I could just let the rest work. But if I had to critique myself a little bit, that's what I would critique it for. We'll see if it gives me that big drop here. At this point, I can just kind of hold it, let it work. That's why it's important to follow your plan, you know. See this $7 area hold as resistance now. Yeah, I know. I'm seeing YECO push up. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm watching it push up here. Plug earnings today? Really? Did they have earnings? Look at Kron here, though. Kron didn't look bad for a fade. All right, getting a little bit of a bounce here for GoGo. I really don't want to see it over 710. I don't want to see it break over 710 right there. Want to see it maybe consolidate a little bit and then make another test for those lows. It's already bounced off of their want, so you can see these lows are starting to act as major support. And so obviously I want to see it crack under these lows and keep going here. You can see there's some big orders on the level 2 on the short side. But at this point, I've taken enough profits to where I really don't have to worry too much about it. If it rebounds, it rebounds. Kind of a break-even day if it does. And that's okay. I think my second profit that I took was at the right spot at around 697. My first profit was maybe a little bit early, but we had that support resistance at 710, 708. That's why I took the first one. But like I said, maybe I'll let my NIO trade get to me a little bit too much, making me sell those few hundred shares. But I mean, I was down what, 17, $18 on the day. And so I came back about 20, and so I'll take that any day, but maybe broke my plan a little bit there. MDGS has been on the scanners. Look at Kron. I mean, Kron's testing the VWAP here. I like it because it has this big resistance level at 45 right here. You can see all this level in pre-market start to test, and so I like it for that reason. It's a rejection, so the accuracy rate is definitely not as good as the fade, but it's got a lot of resistance. We'll see if it's testing that resistance now. We'll see what happens. A little bit of bounce back up on go-go here. AMRN. Yeah, I mean, I don't like AMRN. AMRN is one of those stocks. I've always said that there's certain stocks that I just don't trust. Certain stocks that just never seem to follow through with my patterns, right? They just never seem to work. They always fake me out, and AMRN is definitely one of those, at least for me. I'm not saying it's not going to work here. I'm just saying usually AMRN fakes me out pretty good every time I try to trade it. And so for that reason, I'm out to get Shark Tank on it, to bring up Shark Tank. But I do see the fade. It does look like a fade with a tight risk of maybe 2020. And so I see the fade for sure. Is it going to follow through? I don't know. It's just one of those stocks that I try not to trade just because it's, it just hasn't worked much for me. Yeah, see money. Bringing up Shark Tank, man. Hey, man, I mean, the VWAP fade's a good strategy. You know what I mean? Like, you can see here, I had good risk reward in both of those trades. NIO didn't work out, and that's okay, but I made it all back with one trade on go-go, and so it worked out. It's definitely a viable strategy. I've been using it, for a long time, and, if I end today in gross profits, that's 3 days in a row in gross profits. I didn't trade it all yesterday. And so it's definitely a viable strategy. Sometimes it works better than others on certain days, and that's with any strategy in the market, but it's definitely a viable strategy. I've been trading it for a long time. The real great thing about it is that it typically presents you with good risk and reward in the trade. And if you take profits at the low of the day, which it usually comes back to test at least once, like you can see here on GoGo, it usually comes back to test the low of the day. I can take profits there and then just hold the rest. If it reverses on me, that's okay. I'm still break even, up in the trade, break even. And if it breaks the low of the day and continues falling, that's even better, Yeah, we're not going to mention any other streamers in here, man, for no reason. I mean, I'm not sure why you're just mentioning that name, but we're not going to mention any. Yeah, pull back to the VWAP there. We'll see what happens. What's up, Milan? What's up, brother? But yeah, I've always said I'm not gonna mention any other streamers' names or anything like that. That's cool, brother. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I will say this though, like you got to be careful in the stock. You got to be careful in trading, right? There's a lot of people that are gonna only post green days, you know, and when they start live streaming, you really see if they're a good trader or not. You know what I mean? Like I said, not going to mention names, but it's super common for traders to cherry pick their trades. And so if they go from having no losing trades in 3 weeks, and then as soon as they start live streaming, they take a bunch of big losses, that should be a red flag. You know what I mean? But that's all I'm going to say. We'll see if GoGo can drop under this low. Let it get tested. It's at 704, 702. So far, I made about $17 in this trade. Actually, about $20 in this trade thus far. So we're just gonna let it work. Took back my original loss on the day. 100%. Losses are going to happen. It's just about having a plan, man. It's just about planning your trades. You know, if you're just blindly jumping in stocks because whatever reason, that's not the way to do it. You got to have a plan around everything. I form a plan before I enter the trade. You'll hear me. I'll call out my risk, my reward levels, where I want to take profits and everything before I jump in the trade. I think that's super important. If you're just blindly jumping in because you think it quote unquote looks good, that's not the way to be. At this point with GoGo, I'm debating on whether I should add my sizing back if it does bounce back to that VWAP level of 714. It looks really tempting to do that if it gets back up to 714. I'm not sure if I want to do that today, but it doesn't look like a bad idea to add my risk back, keep that risk level I originally gave myself of 24. But we'll see. I mean, who knows? I've already made about $20 on this trade. Brought back my loss from the day. That first loss I took on NIO. And so at this point, I'm just letting these last 50 shares work. Already taken profits twice. And so we'll see what happens. All right, there's 703, 702s. We'll see if we get this break. Like I said, I've already made about $20 from this trade. I'm just trying to let the final 50 shares work, see if it can crack these lows, and really give me a nice breakdown with my last little remaining 50 shares. I originally got in it with 200. Like I said, up about 20 so far on the trade. Just letting the rest work. Was down 17, and so up about 20, 21 on it. Let me look. 18 on it thus far. All right, we'll see if we get that low of the day crack for me. AMRN, look, it faded nicely. Like I said, risk level would be maybe 2020, 2025, but I just don't trust AMRN. It's just not one of those stocks that I really like trading. Just never really given me good results. And I have to understand myself as a trader and know that some stocks are just not going to be it for me. And AMRN, for me at least, is one of those where I just don't trust it. Nice little fade there on AMRN, though. Faded really nicely if anybody took it. Somebody put the Jeopardy music out there, man. All right, here's GoGo testing 7 again. Want to see it break 7, obviously. The whole dollar support there. At this point, I've already scaled out of it enough to where I can just kind of let it work. I'm not really stressed out about it, just looking at it. Yeah, man. Well, YECO has until... Man, I'm trying to think of the date. I think it said November 12th. It was either November 12th, November 13th, something like that. It has until that specific date to appeal to regain compliance with, I think, the NASDAQ, but I'm not 100% sure. But it has about a week, a little bit less than a week, I think, actually, to appeal. If not, it's getting delisted. And so, I mean, I like that because it gives you an actual time. You know, it's just not going to randomly get delisted, which I like a little bit more. But that was the news on it. Yeah, no stress, Jason. Also, if anybody's interested in signing up to TradeNet, I do have a link. TradeNet's the broker I'm using. I have a link that gets you 10% off any package you choose. I make a small commission from it, but it's one of the ways we keep the stream free. And if you want to help support the channel, you can go through that link. We appreciate it if you do. But yeah, so biggest flaw of TradeNet and TEFs is that some stocks aren't tradable, but I can usually find a decent amount to trade each day, as you can see. So yeah, if you want to help support the channel, you can go through my link. I just posted it in the chat. Appreciate it if you do. Volume kind of slowing down for GoGo here. We'll see what happens. Kron. I'm actually surprised the cannabis stocks ended up failing today. Etsy pushed up really nicely. But you can see Kron and CGC pulled back some. Cannabis was legalized in Michigan recreationally. So that's why I said I'm kind of surprised that it had a down day after the open thus far. Look at all the red on the time and sales of Kron here. We'll see if it gets a big pullback. A lot of little orders though. See if any big orders jump in here. A lot of tiny orders. There's a little bit of a rejection for Kron here. Some green pulling in. Waiting for the big orders to show themselves. There's a big order. Look at that, 10,000 shares roll through on Kron. 12,000 now. Rolling through. Some size stepping in there. A little bit of a bounce, but it's small orders. Still small orders. Look at the red. Watching the time and sales for Cron. NIO pulling back to the VWAP. Yeah, NIO kind of faked me out, and that's okay. I mean, these things are going to happen. Went up to 640. Kind of faked me out there, but looking at SRCI a little bit here. Yeah, there's some big orders go through on the long side. Nice little VWAP projection here for SRCI. Just the mornings, man. I just know myself well enough, Danny, to know that if I try to stick around the computer all day, you know, I'm going to force trades. And something you see a lot of new traders do is that they'll take a few losses and then they don't know how to stop. You know what I mean? They're so desperate to kind of win back their initial losses on the day that they keep just forcing trades over and over again. They just jump back into another trade, take another loss, get bummed out about it, get really stubborn, jump back in another trade, take another loss, get really bummed out about it and stubborn, jump back in with bigger sizing, take another loss, and that's how you really destroy your account. It's something new traders a lot of the time have, that's one of the biggest things with new traders is that they don't know how to step away, you know. I give myself the rules just so I have to step away. All right, at this point, this is where I'm probably going to jump out. We'll see if I'll let it test this level here. If it breaks, I can jump out for a break-even trade. Or for a break-even day thus far. Would have been a lovely add there. Like I said, I was considering adding there too. If it pulled back to the VWAP, but gonna let this candle close. Yeah, for sure. I'm guilty of it too. But it's something that I've learned myself well enough to understand about myself is that if I stick around the computer all day, if I get too stubborn, I hurt my account. And so one of my rules is I have to step away. It's important to give yourself rules in the market. And that's one of my rules is I just have to step away. That would have been a great ad though when it bounced up to 712 there. I even called it out earlier, said I was considering it. It happened a little too quick though. But yeah, that's one of my big rules is that I can only trade 2 or 3 times a day. If I have 2 losing trades in a row, I'm usually not going to jump into anything else. And I think that has really helped me protect my account to a certain extent. What's up, Trading News? What's up, man? SRCI pulling back to the VWAP there. We'll see what happens with it. What was that? I hate it when my computer does that and makes that noise, but it doesn't. I don't know why it did that. Yeah, for sure, man. Overtrading is one of the biggest things that new traders need to focus on, and just giving yourself discipline. You know, if you're down 3 losing trades, there's no reason to take another trade. Just step away. You know, you got to have that discipline, and that's one of the things that it takes a while to learn and to condition yourself to have that discipline. You know, you got to have the discipline to hang it up. As Mitch says, you got to know when to fold them. You know, and just walk away. If you don't know when to fold them, you're just gonna stack up losses. Your losses are just going to snowball worse and worse and worse and worse, you know? And it's also about having a plan in each trade, man. You got to have a plan. That would have been a great ad on GoGo, though, on that pullback to the VWAP. Like I said, I was considering it. Regardless of what it does here, I could have taken profits already, but would have been a lovely ad for me. Gonna let it test the low again, see if we can finally break it. Like I said, though, at this point, I've taken enough profits in it to not really be stressed out about it at this point. Chances are I'll either have a break even, maybe a small loss for $1 or $2 if it does stop me out over 712, or break even if it doesn't break the lows here. Yeah, man, and it's a very common thing, man. Super common, you know. It goes like this. Like, you take one loss, you say, well, I took one loss. I'm going to use a little bit bigger sizing because I took one loss. Then you take another loss, a bigger loss, and then you say, well, I'm down so much already. Let me just take one more trade. And then you take another loss. And then you say, man, the next one has to be a winning trade. And then you take another loss. And it just kind of snowballs over and over and over again until you're just so frustrated and stubborn that you're just destroying your account. Yeah, sounds like my first week too, Jason. That's kind of how my first week went, man. That's just kind of how it went. And that's how it goes as traders, man. All right, we got 704, 705. This thing's just kind of been chop city, though, since the volume slowed on it. Yeah, man, that's another option, man. That's another problem is that there's so many hot stock picks and all this stuff in the market. And, you know, that's why I always tell people. People always ask me, should I buy here? Should I sell here? And I always tell them I don't know. You know, I'm not trying to tell you what to do. If you think it's a good trade, you know, take it. But it's not up to me, man. You know, you got to be independent as a trader. And that's why it goes back to just forming a trading plan, like having a plan around each trade you get into. That way you don't have to ask. You know where you're going to take profits. You know where you're going to stop out. You know where you're going to enter. And so you don't have to worry about following anybody else. You know, you could just do what you do, you know. $7.06. $100% Adley. You know it. Addedly, sorry. But you know it, man. That's what I always say. I even got Nightbot helping me out with that disclaimer, too. I'm not trying to give stock picks. I'm not trying to tell you if you should buy it or not. It's one of the biggest shady things in the stock market in general. Stock picks. Man, somebody key the Jeopardy music, man. I know I've said it before, but... my entry point in GoGo was 714. I'm up about $18 in this trade so far. I took one loss on NIO this morning, $14 loss. I'm up about 18 in this one. Took a little bit of profits already on it. I got in with 200 shares. I'm just holding these last little remaining shares, see if they can break the low of the day, give me a bigger winner. But if not, like I said, I've took profits at the right spot, and so I'm just letting it work, see what happens, you know. No big orders coming through on the time and sales. What do you mean? Trading? These are scanners right here. This is Trade Ideas scanners. And with that said, shout out to Trade Ideas for allowing me to use their scanners. They're cool enough to let me stream their scans. And so if you're interested in checking out Trade Ideas, awesome customizable scanner, you can go through my link here. But yeah, shout out to them. Really awesome scanners. Super customizable. Really makes my mornings easier and allows me to see what's moving in the market. MTSL looked pretty today, man. Look at that VWAP bounce right here. NIO is a little sketched. Kind of choppy. All right, we'll see if we can finally break. It's been in this little channel for a while now for GoGo. We'll see if we can finally break 7. Cron testing the low of the day as well. Look at Cron testing the low of the day. I'm actually surprised that these cannabis stocks have been dropping today, especially after it was legalized in Michigan recreationally. NWL looked like a nice little fade here. Look at this fade. Pretty little fade right here. Right there. Would have been nice. But man, Go-Go is in Chop City right now, man. Just sideways action. No big orders coming through. But yeah, not a bad day for fades from what I've seen. My computer's making a weird noise. Oof. Other than that, appreciate the sub, Mega. Welcome, brother. Appreciate it, man. Just no big orders on the time and sales. There's a 5. Yeah, MTSL battling that whole dollar right there at 3. Right here. Give me a second. I'm looking at. There we go. I like the drop. Here, I'll look it up for you. Hold on. Let me see what Go-Go's gonna do here. IGX. Let me look. No, it's not tradable, unfortunately. MTSL got rejected at 3. Double top. A little bit of a double top. Oh, I gotta turn that down. It scares me. It's too quiet in here. Appreciate the sub, L. Welcome. Appreciate it. But yeah, 2 trades today. 1 losing trade, 1 winning trade. Winning trade was enough to take back the loss on my losing trade, though, and be up a small amount now. Just letting it work. See if it can ever break under 7. Alright, if it squeezes up here, I'm just going to get out. I've been holding this thing for forever. If it breaks this trend line here, I'm out at 707. Big buy order coming in there on the level 2, 2000. Or on the time and sales, I'm sorry. See if we get a sell order to bump it back down. Got bumped down some. Is Thinkorswim frozen here? I believe it is. Thinkorswim's not refreshing per the level 2s. Hey, appreciate it, man. Appreciate it, trading. Yeah, I think Thinkorswim's lagging. $707. Like I said, this is where I'm gonna watch it closely. Yeah, man, it's a battle, Mitch, for sure, man. It's definitely a battle, brother. Constant battle with Thinkorswim. It's been lagging a lot lately too, man. I just love their charts. Their charts are beautiful, man. I love Thinkorswim's charts. That's the only thing. That's why I stick with it. It's just what I'm comfortable with. Luckily, I can use Tef's level 2 here, which is more accurate. What's up, Casey Mack? What's up, brother? Good morning, man. Kind of a so-so day for me so far, Casey Mack, if you're just now joining us. I had one losing trade, one winning trade. Losing trade for about $14. Winning trade so far is about 17, 18. Took profits already, and so I'm just letting my last little bit of shares work, see if it can ever break under sevens, and if not, no stress. Get out for a roughly break-even day. Not a bad day. I mean, the last 3 market days I've ended up in gross profits, and so not too bad, not too shabby. Just taking it slow. Try to use a little bit bigger sizing today with 200 shares. Probably try to maybe use 300 tomorrow. See how that goes, if the volume is sufficient enough for it. All right, we got the 703s. I almost want to just put a stop on this thing. Just put a stop loss up. Just because this is taking a long time in this channel. I appreciate it, Casey Mack. Yeah, I haven't been doing that bad in the last week or so. Yeah, no worries and no stress, Casey Mack. I stole no stress from Mitch. Now I'm saying it because I talk to Mitch so much. So I can wear no worries. Mitch can wear no stress. And we can make millions off of our t-shirts. But yeah, Thinkorswim's definitely lagging per the level 2. There's 707. Got to be careful here. Hand over the cover button. Don't want to see it get squeezed up. It would be the 3rd test of the VWAP. Don't trust it. Would be lovely to see a wash back down to 7, but not too confident in it. There's 707s. Like I said, got to be really careful here. It's had some resistance there previously. If it breaks that 707 resistance, I can jump out. But yeah, look at MTSL today. MTSL used to be tradable on TEFs too. They removed it. the good news is that I'm making money on both sides with GoGo today. I actually bought a put option, I think yesterday on GoGo, and I'm up some in that put option already for GoGo once it was at around the highs. And so good news is I'm making money a little bit in both ways for GoGo day trading and options swing trading. So really today will be a green day no matter what, but MTSL looks interesting here. I wonder if they sell put options for that. Let me look. Oh, they don't sell options at all. They don't sell it at all for Robinhood. That sucks. So dull here with GoGo. Volume just went out. All right, there's our fours. I know this is getting a little repetitive, guys, so I'll probably just put a stop on this. What do you guys want me to do? You want me to close it down? I'm sure you probably want me to keep up, but you know, sometimes holding to your levels is boring, and that's okay. But what do you guys want me to do? You want me to keep the stream up? You want me to close it down? Let me know. Yeah, for sure. Heriberto. Yeah, that's right. That's Eddie, right? You're Eddie, right? Heriberto. ACB, please. Oh, yeah. Let me check it out. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. I'll probably just set a stop loss 708. So if I get stopped out of this trade, it'll be for about a $15 gain. And I'll try to record it. I'll try to record it, and if it does break down really nicely, I'll record it. If it's just a small gain after that, I'll show you guys. I'll record it, show you in the stream tomorrow. Yeah, for sure. All right, everybody, have a good day. Not a bad day. I mean, I had one losing trade, but I made it all back plus some so far on GoGo. And I'm just letting my last little remaining shares work. That's 3 green days in a row so far, so not bad, not bad. I'll take it. All streamed live, and so yeah, time to scale back that sizing up a little bit. I've been using 200 shares today. Gonna keep trying to move up my share size. It's about time I take bigger gains. My consistency's been there, so it's about time to take some bigger gains, I think. Oh, sorry, brother. ACB, man, I mean, it looks to be honestly following... Oh, it is a cannabis stock. Okay, yeah, it looks to be following the other cannabis stocks. So if you look at Cron, NBEV, and all those, it looks to be following those pretty closely. And so, yeah, nice little fade there a little bit, but we'll see what happens. Not really sure what to do with this one. Volume's kind of slow right now, guys. So good luck for the rest of the day. I'll see you all tomorrow, same time as always. Like I said, go check out SnapTrade. Awesome free scanner. I'll post the link here. Awesome scanner. I build my watch list each morning, and it has a news section. I can click today's news and go to watch list. But regardless of what your niche is, cannabis, crypto, high gainer, gap ups, there's a sector for it in their scans. And so I'll post the link. Go check out SnapTrade. Also, like I said, if anybody wants to sign up to TradeNet, I have a link that gets you 10% off. And so if you're interested in checking out TradeNet, which is the broker I use, I'll post that link here as well. I make a small commission from it, but it's one of the ways I keep the stream 100% free. And so you can go check them out, support the channel if you want. I don't know, guys. Here's the break of 7. I mean, do you guys, I might as well just let it work here and hold it until see what it does here at 7. I mean, it's testing 7 again. I might as well let it work a little bit here. See what happens. I want to see that 7 area hold as resistance. Also, and if I can leave you all with something, guys, just think about if you watch other traders on YouTube. I'm not trying to hate on anybody, but if other traders on YouTube claim to have 3 weeks of no losing trades and all they're posting is their trade videos of 3 weeks of green trades, and then they start live streaming and they start taking a bunch of losses, you know they're cherry picking their green trades. They're not being honest with you. And so remember that. I'm going to go ahead and close it down. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. I day trade live on stream every weekday morning. And yeah, good luck for the rest of the day, y'all. We'll see how this one goes. I'll record it, and if it stops me out, I'll be up about break even on the day. So no stress. Have a good day, guys. I'll see you all later.